We are doing we just implement a Python API, and when we have a decentralized blocks add service, and this is our official website which built on the block, and who don't want to add on their open source project to get some extra income. That sounds great. So we have some decentralized ads here, and I will introduce later. But I want to start from how this model, what is this model work. This is the centralized version of block ad system, and in a blog you will see there's some content and ads here, and there's a centralized service provider that will merge the content and the ads to what you see. And this content provider will get the payment, and the blog service provider will get the payment from the ad buyer. So we will have a decentralized version later. But why decentralized? What is the reason and what is the benefit? Here is two reasons. The reason one is the centralized system will cost a lot. This is my blog. I just applicate the ad service in my blog from Google, but the Google says your content is insufficient in your blog. Why? In other words, because of the transaction fee and the maintenance fee mine greater than the ad payment, so they don't want to pay to me because my blog has insufficient content. Okay, and the reason too, this government would have privilege to close the blog. Why this? This is news, but this is written in Chinese because Chinese government often do this, right? So that is a reason. So just decentralize, okay? So this to remove this centralized part, replaced by the centralized system, we can use the smart contract to deal with the payment part, and we have the decentralized database to deal with the content deliver part. So this is our model, and this is how it works. In this model, if you are a blog, you just deploy a smart contract on some blockchain. In my case, I use the Ether blockchain. Okay, and you will deploy some content on the nodes. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, just saying.
You just have to click the red thing again.
Okay.
The red thing. Like, click that.
That? Oh.
There you go. No, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, but we can deploy some content on the Blue Zone nodes, and the ad buyer would buy this contract. Once he buys this contract, he has the privilege to write to change the variable in the content in the contract. Okay, so when there's a viewer query some information from Blue Zone node, and the Blue Zone node will query the ad information like the logo or the links to the website. Okay, so this is how it works, and that's a demo. Okay, these are our sponsor, and you can notice this is a ENS address. This is not a DNS address. This is bluezone.hexon.eth. Okay, so and by this link, the Pro Networks plugin will lead us to this page. Okay, so if you have the contract, then you can change this link here. And but I wish I could write this logo in the smart contract, but I didn't implement it yet. Okay, so And if you want to buy this contract, then you can modify to pay some money to this contract and modify this data, and that will change the link in this way. Okay, so. You can, and we can just delete it, okay? And you can add some new posts here, just like it's all, that's all.
Thank you, cool. Thanks, Team FULLACID. Let's see what questions our judges have to ask. George?
I'm pretty interested in the Python side of things, and there was some content that you weren't able to show. So I guess I'm enabling you to show that. Did you actually implement this, did you implement some sort of Python layer to talk to Gazelle, and can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we use 3D piece of the pure
So basically, we have this based on the WebSocket. So how it works is basically we call the WebSocket and we resolve those some issue there.
Want to use the microphone?
Okay.
It's right here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So we implement the redirect thing. Basically, if you're not talking to a leader, we will direct you to the leader. And also we implement the after write issue that we seen. Basically, when you create something, you don't see it immediately. So we have a polling mechanism to try to make sure that the thing is already written into the database. So this is the test that we wrote to basically. So how it works is you install this thing, and you import it, and you can create connection using the host, using the port, and your DB UUID, and then you create your key value pair. And for here, you will see the result, basically true or false, whether it exists or not. And you can query the key, you can read the key, you can hash, call it hash. And we have full documentation here, so you can read all those. So basically, tell you how to start the thing. You do the pip install, the store thing, and you try out this API, and that's it.
So ads are bought and sold in different ways, different pricing models, different ways of kind of serving them. Like sometimes people will pre-buy ads and then eventually they'll just show whenever. Sometimes people buy ads in real time, like they make this, like an impression's about to happen, they send user information over and the person decides whether they want to bid on that or not. Does this support stuff like bidding models? Are there like different ways of buying, like based on like impression or click or action, or like how do you structure that?
Actually, this model should have some contract matching algorithm or a company to do such thing to make this part better. So because of this part now, we don't have any user information to suggest what contract they will buy. So I think there should be a company to do this.
How do you prevent fraud where people display 1 million ads to no one and collect revenue? Fraud. Yeah. Yeah, the first thing people are going to do is just load up 1 million ads on their blog and nobody's going to look at them.
That is a good question. I think that every decentralized system would have the same issue. I don't know how to solve it.
Because we tested the client on Jupyter Notebook, so one case we want to have a Python client is that now this deep learning is very hot, and one problem with it is that for every model, if you want to train it, it relies on huge amount of data. But usually those data are hosted by the researcher who first published the paper and it's centralized. So since we have already implemented client, we were thinking about maybe we can combine some deep learning algorithm to help us do the fraud detection.
Thank you. I guess even for my fellow judges, you actually have two projects here, right? In your hackathon, you made this blog ads thing, but you also made a Python driver. And I think you should have probably talked your Python driver up more than your blog ad system for what it's worth.
Do you guys want to see the demo on this one?
So you wrote your app in Python as well, I guess, using your Python driver. And
Actually, that one is using the JS.
oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Any more questions from the judges? No? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start using two mics. Round of applause.